If you've got an offer that's doing really well and you've got a lot of happy clients and customers coming to you singing your praises, I'm going to show you a simple strategy that you can use to scale your business using Facebook ads by using the power of testimonials to get even more people coming your way. So if this is the first time joining one of my lives, I'm Brian Czekanski. I'm a Facebook ad copywriter and marketing strategist who focuses on those coaches and businesses that have moms as their audience. So what I'm going to do today is walk you through step by step. Say that you've got a happy customer that just came to you in the last week. They're singing your praises. They just sent you an email, text message, whatever it is. They got the result that they've always wanted. It's based on all your help, whether you're a coach or a business, you had some product or service that got them everything that they wanted. Let's walk through exactly how you should take that happy customer and how can we leverage that to get even more people that are just like them and get them to the results that they're looking for. So the first thing is really thinking about, and this is something that I see frequently and something that I kind of bang the table all the time with, especially with new clients and customers, is that you have to have a process for reaching out to those happy customers, especially in those times where they're coming to you and they're really the happiest, where they got the result that they wanted the most. They're feeling good about where they are. That's the time to ask people for a review or a testimonial. For me, everything that I always want to ask for a video testimonial. The reason being is that your prospects want to see and hear from someone just like them, using that, the tone of their voice. They want to be able to see that person. It's really going to help you as you put out more and more proof, and also writing Facebook ad copy, as you'll see in just a second. So I'm going to walk you through step by step how that actually helps you. But just think about it from a prospect perspective. If they can see and hear from somebody that looks like them, that sounds like them, that is talking about the story that lines up, that has the same problems that they're dealing with right now, is talking about the key aspirations, the key benefits that they're looking for in their life over the next few years. That's really what you want from a proof perspective. You don't just want anyone that's going to convince them that your product or your service is right for them. You want that person that is just like them. And it all comes down to kind of that buyer psychology. Everybody thinks that their situation is unique. Everybody thinks that they're a special snowflake. So you have to, as much as possible, get a variety of different client testimonials because, again, your prospects are coming from various different areas. So if you can get, again, just from a look and feel perspective, somebody just like them, but also talking about that same story and that same aspirations and same benefits that you're looking for, that's really important. So what I'm going to do now is kind of just show you, I'm going to start with, and again, this is something that I share with my clients that come on. It's one of the first things that I ask them for is, can we reach out to all your happy clients, regardless of where they are, even if you worked with them 3 months ago, a year ago, whatever it is, like, let's just ask the question, will they be able to potentially do a video testimonial for us? And this is the guide. These are the 5 questions that I give to clients. So, happy to scribble them down here. I also do a longer video on YouTube that I'll link below that will kind of go through each of these questions and why we're asking it. But for right now, these are the 5 questions that you really want to get into. And again, the best testimonials are not those that sing the praises about you as the coach or you, how great your product is. The best ones that are really going to get you more turn prospects into buyers is those that really talk about their own story of transformation, on how you got them the results that they were looking for, the problems and the struggles that they were dealing with before they hired you or bought your product or whatever it is, and really showing them along the way how your product or service kind of fit into the transformation that they're talking about, to provide that proof that, your proven process or your proven product was the key differentiator that got them over the hump. So again, questions 1 and 2 are really about in that, speaking directly to that prospect, here's exactly what that customer success story was dealing with before they even, came to me. And here's where some of the things that were going on in their head. And again, why a video testimonial versus a written one? Again, the other thing you can do is an audio testimonial. If they're completely against doing a video testimonial, audio testimonial works really well. The reason you want video or audio is you want people speaking freely. You don't want them to be editing their thoughts, and that's typically what they're going to do when they write stuff down. You want them to be talking and talking through their story, but using the exact words that they would use in natural language. And that's really what's most helpful. And again, I'll show you that in just a second, is really going through and taking a video testimonial, get it transcribed, get it down to the actual words and phrases. And what you're going to see is that anytime that you have these testimonials, you're going to see these key words and key phrases pop up again and again and again. And that's your marketing gold. Like, that's where you want to really be speaking your audience's language. If they can come to your sales page or come to your Facebook ad and you're speaking the exact language that they use on a day-to-day basis, even how they think in their head, that's when they know they're going to be in the right place. That's when you're going to knock down objections, any fears that they have, because again, like, everybody is speaking the English language, but in each of the different segments of the audience that are out there, people are, saying things in different ways. They have different perspectives, different phrases, words, keywords along the way. I'll show you just an example of how this came through for a relationship coach in just a second. So again, as you kind of hit on those key pain points and the ways that they would kind of describe their specific emotions during situations, really important. And then as you go a little bit further down, like as they describe those results or as they describe their experience after the fact, like how would they describe what they've been able to achieve or how the world has changed? Like, each of those words and phrases are really important. That's why we go for either video or audio testimonials. So again, like, as a first step, you want to go out to people and ask them, can you just film a short video that runs through each of these questions and just talk about your own story? And the great part is that, like, people love the recognition of talking about their own story, especially a successful story. So there shouldn't be any kind of hesitation. Sometimes you do get hesitation because video can be really intimidating. And that's where you can make it a little bit easier for people by just doing a Zoom interview, by just having a conversation. Again, you can have this guide right on your computer and kind of ask them each of these questions. But the great thing about kind of a recorded Zoom conversation is that you can dive a little bit deeper. Those things that they bring up that are really interesting, you can ask follow-up questions and really dig into, again, like, what were some of those worries, concerns, hesitance about before they hired you. So we can really dig into, like, okay, how did you get over some of those objections? Like, how were you really thinking about it? What were some of those words and phrases that came up to you as you went along the way? So really think about that recorded Zoom conversation as an easy way, because again, it kind of takes the stress away around a video testimonial, because you're just conversing back and forth and you're just recording it. And again, that has power. And again, even if you have clients that are just like, for confidentiality purposes, I don't want you to share this publicly, just gathering those testimonials is really helpful for your marketing, because even if you don't use their name or likeness or even attach a name to it, having those words and phrases that they talk about in terms of their problems, in terms of the life that they're looking for, their hesitations, is just really going to help you in terms of your overall marketing, ad copy, sales pages, emails, all those kind of things. So what I want to do is just provide an example of how I really took one of the video testimonials that are out there and actually show you how it came down to some Facebook ad copy that I created. So it all started with this relationship coach called Hillary Silver. I came to her success stories page, and you'll see on this one, she does a great job of collecting video testimonial stories. And you can see as you go down her page, she has a lot of them. And I don't think she's even updated this page, so there's even more that are on here. But you can see, again, as you go down the page, you're seeing different people. Like, some are blonde, some are brunettes, those kind of things. As your prospects goes down, they're going to naturally, their eye is going to go to those people that look exactly like them. And those are the videos that they're going to click on. So if you can provide a diversity of different video testimonials that are out there, just as a first impression, that makes a big difference. Again, another way that you can kind of differentiate these stories is with the headlines, or just providing a little bit of a preview of the story below that, to get people in the right place, to get to those client success stories that are most like them. That's really important in how you do it. So just keep that in mind as you go through, because again, like, people are looking for what they see. So you want to be able to provide that lessons as you go through. So as we go through here, like, one of the things that stuck out to me as I went through these and as I thought about the Facebook ad copy. So for this relationship coach, she's really been drawing in a lot of her prospects based on her own story. So she was one that, she really focuses on kind of that internal world. And as you change your internal world, that's where you're attracting the guys that you're looking for. So she did that in her own life and talked about her own struggles and how she changed her inner mindset and all those things to get the guy that she wanted the most. And now she's been married for over 20 years. So using that success story, but also going back over 20 years ago, how she kind of struggled with various, with dating and all that kind of stuff. So, but what I learned about her audience as I went through some of these success stories is there's different segments of her audience, different success stories that we can really pinpoint. So one of the things is she works with a lot of women that have been divorced. Again, that's not part of her story, but it's a part of a lot of the success stories that she has, particularly the ones that really stood out to me. So as I thought about okay, what other Facebook ad copy can we potentially test against the already successful ad copy that's working, getting your prospects and all those kind of things. And for me, it's kind of using those video testimonials for those that have gone through a divorce. And as we dig a little bit deeper, even those people that got divorced, they had various different problems that they were going through, and they had various different solutions. So this coach provided various different solutions to their personal situation. So I picked out two that really stuck out to me. Like the ones that are going to be best for you are those people that are going to be very vulnerable about their story. They're willing to open up, talk about all their struggles before they met with you, talk about how their life has changed as a result. Obviously talk about their experience of working with you or your product along the way. So I picked out the ones that really resonated with me just in terms of vulnerability and going forward. So I just picked them out. So the next step, again, as you collect these video testimonials, they're great to just have on a page here, but we're going to try and leverage them as much as possible. We're going to use them for written emails. We're going to put them on our sales page. We're going to put them on our order form. We're going to use them for Facebook ad copy, which I'm going to show you in just a second and how I did that. But use these all over the place. Don't just put them in one place and just hope people find them. We want to be continually sharing the stories of a transformation, providing proof that we've helped people just like them all across the board. So I took one of the video testimonials. If I go down a little bit further down here, one of the ones was right here. A dental hygienist went from heartbroken to engaged. Just in listening to her story, I thought she was very vulnerable in telling what she was struggling with and how going forward her life was changed. And then one other one, how a diverse doctor stopped people pleasing. So that's one. I took these two videos. What I did is I went to a company called rev.com. I got these video testimonials transcribed. So there's various different services that are out there, but Rev is the one that I use the most. It's a little bit more expensive, but in terms of my experience, they give you back written testimonials that are kind of perfectly transcribed. Other ones are a little bit cheaper, but there's a lot of you have to do a lot more editing and those kind of things. So I can take this written transcription and I can use it right away. And I'm really going through and seeing okay, what words and phrases are really popping out to me? What are the things that she is saying in terms of her own personal story that I can kind of use for the ingredients of a Facebook ad copy that I'm going to use along the way. And I'll show you that in just a second, what the ultimate Facebook ad copy looked like for this testimonial. But again, take those words, again, it's one thing to kind of take notes based on what you hear for a video, but to actually see the words and phrases that this person is using in terms of describing their success story, the struggles, all those kind of things is really powerful. And it's a matter of, for certain of your ads, especially if you get permission from that person to share more of their stories, it's as easy as kind of copying and pasting and kind of just editing around, reformatting their story in a way that makes sense for the audience. And again, I'll show you how to do that in just a second. But again, just taking their exact words, taking their exact phrases, by doing that, you're going to ensure that you're speaking your audience's language and the way they kind of think in their head. And again, they're going to know that they're in the right place as they read through that, as they listen to some of these video testimonials and those kind of things. So you can see how we're kind of leveraging the video testimonial, not only from a video perspective, but also in understanding our audience, how they describe their problems, what words they use, what phrases they use along the way. And this is just a good example as well. You can see the coach is actually using that recorded Zoom approach, where she just hopped on the line with her success story. She recorded the conversation, and that was a great way of doing it. And the best, like the great part is you can kind of see the rapport between the coach and the actual person. So you can see that relationship, not only in terms of that success story of that person talking about the benefits, but you can see that close relationship between that coach and their clients. And that gives you a level of comfort and your prospects a level of comfort that they're in good hands as they go through. So one of the things I did, so again, let's get back to the actual Facebook ad copy. So let's kind of break it down by sections. And what I did, again, I took a look at that written testimonial. I kind of broke out the parts that really stuck out to me. So one of the things that I'm going to look at is like, is there, especially for the top of the ad, as you think about the top part of the Facebook ad copy, kind of those first couple sentences, we know that those are the ones that are going to be up there, that are really designed to catch people's attention. We want to, in those first few sentences, we just want people to stop scrolling and hit that see more button and read the rest of our ad. So we're not trying to sell our entire offer. We're just trying to catch our attention. So within that written within that testimonial, there was a couple different phrases that really stuck out to me. So within that first few lines, I just copied and pasted those lines directly into a section that was really thinking about those first couple lines, that sound bite at the top that might be a potential way of putting it in there. And then I really thought about like, what was the problem that she was really dealing with, and how would she describe that? Again, I went through the transcription of the video testimonial, and I just copied and pasted everything that stuck out to me from a problem perspective that I might be able to use. Kind of think about it as, if you're into cooking, kind of the mise en place is really what I was trying to do. I was trying to lay out all these different ingredients. The majority of the ingredients I didn't use, but just kind of formatting them in the right place so I can start to think about kind of the puzzle pieces of like, okay, this sentence and this word kind of fits together with this. Maybe I can add a little bit more detail to this and make it all fit together as we go through. And again, as we go through the ad, it'll make it a little bit more sense. So again, I'm looking for those key phrases that's going to catch my audience's perspective. I'm going to think about like, okay, like what is something that, in terms of them describing the problem, that might be something that catches my audience attention. What about the key benefits that she was able to experience? Maybe that's something at the top that will catch my audience's attention. And in terms of testing ads, what I usually try to do is like maybe have a negative soundbite that kind of talks about the problem and where they are at their lowest point. Maybe talk about the benefits as well. Maybe test one versus the other, and you'll get an idea of which one is going to perform better. Again, just testing out is going to give you a good sense. If you get that soundbite wrong and it doesn't necessarily, your audience doesn't connect with it and they don't see the rest of the ad, you kind of have a missed opportunity. So especially testing out those first couple lines of the ad is really important, along with the image and the headline. All those, those three things, the image, the headline, and the first few lines of the ad, the only objective of that is to, kind of stop your audience scrolling and hit that see more button and hit read the rest of your ad and hopefully take the action that you're looking for them to take. So after I looked at the problem, I started to think about the transformation. Like what is life like after she worked with this coach? How would she describe that? And what great things came out of it? Again, for this relationship coach, it was all about meeting kind of that dream guy that was a result of the work. And then kind of the final sections, final two sections is kind of like getting into a little bit more detail on how that transformation was possible. So like, what was the unique formula of this relationship coach that made it all possible? What was she missing before in terms of her dating life that this relationship coach was able to solve? And then, kind of setting up, what is that call to action? What's that next step? In this case, it was a webinar. So how can I kind of preview for the audience why they should click through, go to that webinar and listen to what it's all about? So they have that expectation, they have that curiosity of how this coach can potentially help them, but also that webinar along the way. So just to go through the Facebook ad copy and how it it all came together. So again, like as I took the direct words from that written testimonial, it felt like I had a big branding on my head that said the big L, like big loser, when it came to love in my life. So that was one of the sentences within listening to the video testimonial, but also seeing it transcribed, that really stuck out to me. And I think within this audience, it's something that, especially as they go through their news feed, it's going to stop them in their tracks, because they might be feeling the same way, but also just hearing another, like hearing another woman that might be going through the same situation, talking about it in those terms, again, using the specific words and phrases, is enough to get people to stop and at least have enough curiosity to read the rest of the story. And again, there's a little bit more direct quote from that testimonial. And then I actually get into the story. So providing a little context about what was going on. So this is where I kind of go back to like, okay, who is Maggie? What was her story? And, like, why should you be connected to him? So this is all about, by all outside exterior measures, Maggie was very successful. She was a doctor with her own thriving practice, nice car, beautiful house, except her love life was a complete mess. So this is where we get into the problem, and we kind of detail like, okay, like in terms of her dating life, what was going on? She was 48. She had been through 2 divorces. She had been through all these horrible dates, all the wrong guys. And she couldn't really figure it out. Again, going to the thoughts in her head at the time, she was just like, how can I be so successful on one side of my life and just be the complete polar opposite on the other side? And again, this kind of fits into, feeds into the transformation. So again, the answer that she figured out was actually quite simple. It was really fear. So again, I'm providing some curiosity to like, okay, what does fear mean? I'm not spelling it out all together in the ad. I'm going to come back to it later in terms of that unique formula for the coach. But actually getting into the transformation. So once she kind of let go of her fear, she was able to realize that the lover of life was actually right in front of her for the past 2.5 years. She looked, but she had locked him away in the friend zone, and kind of explaining why she had put him in the friend zones. It was really, again, going back to fear and why fear was kind of preventing connection for her. So I'm going to kind of skip ahead. And again, it kind of goes into like, what is the unique formula? And it kind of goes into like, where is a lot of that fear coming from? So I'm kind of educating my audience along the way, but also providing kind of some of those key insights. So they might be going through their dating life right now, and they might not even realize why this outcome is happening. And a lot of it, again, going back to this relationship coach, was going back to some of the blind spots they had, some of the bad habits, and all those kind of things are things like fear that are really holding them back from the life or the dating life that they were looking for the most. And kind of hit on it here as well, like going back to like, why does my work and business life look completely different from my love life? This line right here, too many amazing women show up at work confident, competent, and capable, which is why they enjoy professional success, but show up in their love lives full of self-doubt, uncertainty, insecurity, and not enoughness. So again, it's all about kind of that inner world that's kind of a reflection of that external world. It leads them to being a little bit more passive from a dating life perspective, where they're much more active in that working world, and that's why they're getting a lot more results. And then we get down to, kind of the final parts here. And again, I'm trying to hit on objections as well. So like one of the things that I saw is like a lot of women will be more than willing to invest in coaching for their business or their professional life, but won't be willing to invest in their dating life because they're not going to see that dollar investment. So that's what I'm trying to kind of hit on, is kind of that objection of, do I really need relationship coaching advice? And it goes down to, there's no shame in needing help for this part of life. The only shame would be wasting even one more day allowing your love blocks from letting your dream guy in. So again, just kind of putting some, even though there's no financial gain or loss related to her coaching, kind of putting into perspective of like, okay, your love life does hold some value within your own life. And that's why you should really think about it in that way. So you can see how I kind of put that together. Again, in terms of, asking just to kind of wrap up and summarize, really think about asking your happy clients for video testimonials as much as possible. Again, video or audio testimonials are really great because you can use and transcribe those, get the words and exact words and phrases and use that throughout your marketing, Facebook ads, sales copy, email copy, all those kind of things. If you're speaking your language, they know they're in the right place, and they're more than likely to feel good about who they're working with. And then, as we go through and as we think about these things, think about how you can take some of your success stories and leverage them to get even more clients. In this example, what I did is show you a relationship coach taking that, she has a landing page with all of her success stories, but how can it just not be a page on your website? How can we use it for your Facebook ad copy? How can we use it for other ways? In this example, I showed you kind of my Facebook ad copy formula in terms of talking about that, putting the focus on their story and really thinking about, okay, what is the problem that they dealt with before they met with me? How do they help them along the way? And really focusing on those end benefits and end outcomes, and really thinking about, like, okay, within my ad, which are the ones that are going to catch my attention, catches our audience's attention, and which are the ones that I really have to kind of share and kind of knock down some of those objections or fears that they might have along the way. And within the Facebook ad copy that I shared with you, there is some education as well. So, like, some of your audience might not even recognize that the problems that they're dealing with. They just see the end outcome. They might not even realize they have some blind spots, some bad habits that they just have to be made aware of. And if they change those things, they can have a completely different outcome. And that's really what I tried to articulate within the Facebook ad copy. So it is kind of connecting with the audience, educating them along the way, but also giving them the curiosity and the value that comes with, like, okay, if you click through, here's what you're going to get, really taking them by the hand. So there's no ambiguity. There's no, why should I do that? Like, every audience member is going to say, like, what's in it for me? So you have to always be answering that along the way. Again, video testimonials are a great way of doing that, because they can see and hear from somebody that's just like them. And that's great, especially if that person is telling the same story that they've been going through in terms of problems or struggles, but also is talking about the outcomes that they're looking for. So hope that was helpful as you go along the way. Any questions in terms of using video testimonials, but also using them to your best of your ability within your marketing and kind of the best practices there, let me know. And I'd love to know, like, what other ideas you have used your video testimonials for. Have you used it in any other way to kind of attract even more people to your audience? So let me know below, and look forward to seeing you on future lives.